Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of BertieZ Bootcamp. Today we're going to be discussing traps. Traps have a special place in Hunt and are, in my opinion, underutilized. So whether you're a new player or more experienced, I believe there's a tip for everybody in this video. Before we start, if you missed episode 1, I will have a link of that down in the description where we cover peeking. Also, as soon as you watch this video, be sure to stop by the stream and say hi. I'm going to be live for most of today. And with all that said, let's begin. For newer players, I think it's important for us to cover what each trap does. There are 4 traps in Hunt Showdown. The first 3 use slots in the tool category of your loadout, while the last trap can be found in game. First, we have the concertina trap. This is a tripwire that will spring out concertina spikes that will slow, damage, and cause a bleed effect on your enemy. This trap can work perfectly by itself or be comboed with other traps. Next, we have the poison trap. This trap will release a gas cloud of poison that will blast the enemy with damage. It of course will put the enemy into a poison status effect. This trap is decent, but I think it should be used in combination with other traps to add some more damage. The final trap in the tool category are alert traps. These traps won't directly cause damage, but instead make a loud noise and shoot a flare into the air. These traps do have a special use, however, that we'll talk about in just a minute. The last trap in Hunt Showdown are bear traps. These traps can be found in-game and will cause damage and a bleed effect when triggered. In my opinion, these are a must-use trap every time you're defending a compound, simply because they're free and already at the compound. Now that you have a basic understanding of each trap, let's take a look at trap placements and combinations. Let's start with my personal favorite trap, the alert tripwire. By itself, the alert trap is underwhelming and doesn't deal any damage, but when placed next to a barrel, they become extremely deadly. You should know that it doesn't matter which side of the trap that is next to the barrel, you just have to make sure that they're close to each other. Yellow barrels will blast the enemy and set them on fire, while the red barrels will just straight kill an enemy. Trust me, I have first-hand experience in this. Everyone close your eyes, this might not get pretty.
Specifically zoned in your kitchen.
I find it's best to set up alert traps while your team is fighting the boss. This gives you time to prep the outside of the compound before other teams arrive. Also, always make sure that you ping every trap you place, and if you can, verbally tell your team that you're placing traps. I can't stress how important it is to make your team aware of your own traps. So alert traps are the only traps that I would recommend putting out in the open, and you don't need to combo them with any other trap. For the rest of the traps, you want to put them in choke points. Your main choke points in any given compound are going to be your windows and doors. These are perfect places to set up traps when defending a compound. Windows are my personal favorite because it's almost impossible to see the traps from the other side. A real quick tip for windows is to be sure that you don't place the trap up against the wall, because players will be able to vault over the window and pass the trap completely. To counter this, you just have to pull the trap out just a few inches from the wall. And remember, the main goal of traps are to cause damage and to slow down the pace of the enemies rushing the compound. You won't always get a kill from your traps, but causing damage will still make them use resources to heal, which could help you win the fight in the long run. When placing traps, no matter the combo, you want to lead with the concertina trap. This will slow the enemy and could give you the chance to get a free shot at them. Trapping is very situational, but I will almost always place a bear trap with the concertina trap, and if I have a poison trap, I'll add that to the mix as well. It's also important to know that you can place 2 bear traps under a concertina trap. Trapping always depends on the compound, but I will usually put my traps on the doors or windows farthest from the bounty, in order to keep people from sneaking inside. This will give you one less entrance to worry about while you're defending the compound. When creating a trap loadout, I will always take the alert and concertina traps. In my opinion, these are the best too. If you're not a fan of the alert traps, then you can trade them out for the poison ones, but I personally think the poison traps need to be paired with at least the concertina traps, or else they're almost useless. The damage from the poison trap isn't very much, and it also can be avoided altogether by the antidote shot. Frontiersman and pack mule are great traits to have when running any trap loadout. Frontiersman will let you carry extra traps, while pack mule will let you loot more from dead bodies and orange containers, which in turn will give you more traps. The final tip I have for traps is one that you might not know about. Extracts that are near the banishing compound are also a great place to trap. But did you know that you can place alert traps underwater next to sticky dynamite? This is a bit of a niche trap, but it will still kill the enemy if you're able to pull it off. The alert trap is so hard to see underwater that the enemies won't notice it, and when they trip the alert trap, it will set the fuse to the sticky dynamite. Other traps work in the water as well, and are also near impossible to see. As far as trapping the extracts, I recommend putting them more towards the backside. This is where most players go when extracting, so they're more likely to run into the traps. Alright guys, that was episode 2 of the BertieZ Bootcamp series. I want to thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button. Also, let me know down in the comments what topic you would like to see covered next in the series. I hope you all have a good week, and I'll see you later.